Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a rather impromptu stream about airing some grievances and having a general chat. And I'm, as I often am, joined by a man who messaged me earlier today and said, you know those videos like young people try black pudding for the first time or young people try the hottest chilies for the first time? Do you think a video saying young people try cock for the first time would be a good idea? So, say hi, Andy.
Hello, and yes, thank you for reciting my day's activities.
Yeah,
Cheers.
it's if you can get past the census on YouTube, I mean, it might be quite popular, but I would say that kind of thing's probably more fitting to Pornhub or the FBI.
Or my other channel. Well, not other channel, not like this is
Well,
my
yeah,
channel.
the one where you teach everyone to be a
To be a
paedophile.
to be a predator.
Yeah,
I like saying the word predator. It's
predator. It
less.
makes it sound less, less threatening, I suppose. Doesn't quite let everyone know about your condition in such a graphic way.
The best place to hide something is in plain sight.
Exactly, and you've been getting away with it for years now.
Don't make any fucking Michael Jackson comparisons.
Yeah, we could get into a bit of that later.
No, because we'll just fall out. I don't want to do
Well,
that.
we talked about this. We were riding the bandwagon, the Jacko bandwagon, a long time ago before all of this stuff came out. You see, well, I know this will upset you though, Andy. The Simpsons have pulled the Jacko episode.
I know. I don't understand that. I don't understand. They didn't do that when there was the other allegations, and he went to court in 2005. So I don't understand why they have to do it now.
I still haven't seen the documentary, so I'm yet to pass judgment. But I've always, well, you know how I feel anyway.
Yes, if you want to, you know Corey Feldman.
I know the name.
He was like a child actor,
Right.
a little bit like Culkin. I think he was in what was that film where them kids build that little spaceship, but they're explorers. And I think he was in Gremlins as well.
Yeah, Gremlins was good. Don't think I ever saw the Explorers.
Anyway, he was friends with Jackson, and he's always stuck up for him. And I like the way he worded it. And what he said was he can't defend him anymore because he doesn't know if the allegations are true. And basically, because he's saying he's in Lost Boys, thanks, Carl. I think he was in. I'm pretty sure he was in Gremlins as well.
Could just IMDb him, but let's not get bogged down with facts.
The point is, he made a statement, and he was on a news channel in the US and said, because he was abused when he was younger, that the people who make these allegations have to have a voice. Now, I have my own theories about it, which is that it's total bullshit, and they're doing it anyway. We don't have to get into it.
No, we won't.
But the point is, that's my theory. They're talking shit. They've either convinced themselves or lie.
But the trouble is, he did sleep with kids in his bed. What he did with them in his bed, we don't know. But if you don't want people to call you a paedophile, it's pretty good advice not to.
Nobody could deny that. Even his own family have said that it's a bit silly. It does draw comparisons with the old Jimmy Savile thing, where he overtly does things. Like I said, the best place to hide something is in plain sight. It's just. I don't want to get into it.
Well, I think with Savile it's different. I mean, it's because the BBC, it's been institutionalized for so long, and there were people. I mean, this is a guy like people knew this was going on. That's what's quite sickening about the Savile case, because people knew it was going on. It wasn't just him as well. There was other people intrinsic in the BBC, big names, child entertainers like Savile, Rolf Harris, who were getting away with it for years because the BBC bosses were turning blind eyes. And as much of the great entertainment the BBC's been giving us over the year, this is what happens when a corporation thinks it's bigger than, I don't know, or thinks its stars are bigger than it is itself. Because any decent large company found out that something like that was going on, you'd be like, right, Savile, Harris, get out, or well, go to jail. But they just covered for them. Even, do you remember after Savile died, like the huge funeral they put on for him and everything that was televised?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that fucking sickening?
It's bizarre, isn't it? And I understand why people can come to the conclusion about Jackson. But it's difficult for me. I don't want to get into it. It upsets me because you know, I had an argument with the Australian girl I told you about that, didn't I?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
And
told me you probably fell out over it.
well, we didn't really. It remained civil, but I haven't spoke to her since.
Oh, right, well.
But the point is, it's something that because there's lots of Jackson super fans, and I don't know what a super fan is, but I'm a big fan, and I've read autobiographies from people that have followed him throughout his professional life, and I think I have a pretty good take on everything that went on. I suppose it'd be like
But
a
there's no point you sitting here and putting an argument forward for Jackson's innocence because there's no way we'll ever know the truth. You, in your own mind, you want to believe he's innocent because if you don't, and this is exactly what my friend was saying to me the other day, like he can't enjoy the music anymore because his mind has been changed now. So if you allow those thoughts of doubt to creep into your mind and you go, okay, maybe he was fiddling kids. Now I feel bad for listening to this music. Like he made amazing music, but it does bring up a quite an interesting hypothetical question. If it was proven beyond reasonable doubt that he did molest children, should his entire existence be wiped from history? Like no place ever play a song of his again. No one ever sell one of his records.
well, the thing is, his influence is so embedded and within music culture, it influenced so many artists and changed the face of music that even if a record of his was never played ever again, or every single video got pulled, it wouldn't really make a difference because he changed popular music forever.
Well, he did. I mean, you look at people like Justin Timberlake, The Weeknd. There's so much sort of Jackson influence in their
Yeah,
music.
he talking about his talent and his influence is one thing, but it is an interesting question what you say because how would it change things? I suppose there is a part of me that just can't accept it. It's just that really the evidence, all that there is. I don't want to go into it.
No,
Can we? Should we?
yeah, let's
Should we
move
change the
on.
subject?
Well, you wanted to moan about young people, which I kind of did the other day. So I said, Andy, you need to be entertaining tonight, not just give guides on how to be the best pedo.
Wouldn't that be entertaining though, if that's what you wanted?
No, I don't want that on my channel. You can keep that to your channel. But yeah, it was.
I already do that through subliminal. What's that word?
Subliminal. Oh, you fucked me up now.
Oh, it's my fault. Is it?
Subliminal.
Subliminal.
Yeah. That.
Subliminal.
Yeah.
There's too many fucking syllables in that word. Too many fucking syllables.
Yeah. Well, anyway, much like you have done with children, this is something I touched on last week. Not children, a subject I touched on last week, which was the...
Can I just stop you there? It's not necessarily young people. It's just people in general. I think...
Old people, young people, it's all the same
No,
to
the
you.
older generation, obviously not. I would say that
we're now talking about who we're annoyed with, not who you've touched.
Well, it's a bit of both, but...
Right,
yeah, it's not... In England, right, one thing is... Right, shall I get a beer? It'll be more entertaining if I have a beer.
Okay, but you were kind of going to lead us into something there, but yeah, go and get a fucking...
Sorry, I'm still on it.
I'll do some hellos. Hi, Carl. Very nice to see you here. And Celine, lovely to see you. And Blackjack. Yeah, exactly, Blackjack. That's my thoughts on the whole thing. I don't know. I'm a bit... Perhaps it's almost naive of me. I'm a little bit like there's no smoke without fire. Like, what... Even if there's nothing sexual going on in regards to him, it's a bit odd to sleep in bed with children. But he did make some great music. So, what can you do? Like, are you never going to listen to a Jackson? In fact, let's put it to a poll. There's 7 people watching. Who will still listen to Jacko's music?
Come on, do we have to get into that?
I'm waiting for you to come back to change the subject.
Okay, right. Well, you touched upon it. You did a stream last week, didn't you?
Yeah. I talked about the entitlement of young people and like how everyone seems to have kind of a victim mentality these days. It's never anyone's fault, and they don't take responsibility for what they're doing. And this seems to be sort of something that's born out of perhaps the digital age, or perhaps I just don't understand.
Maybe a bit of both. But whereas you said it's mainly like young people, but I see it like everywhere these days. Everybody just seems to be more self-centered than they were. I don't know whether it's just as you get older, isn't that just a natural way of seeing the world when you get more mature, because you get less ego-based and self-centered as you get older. You start to realise that it's all bullshit. And of course, if that happens, then you're going to see the rest of the world as a bit
you learn
like
a lot as you get older. You make mistakes and you learn from those mistakes. And I suppose kind of some young people, haven't made those mistakes. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just about maturing, isn't it? Getting older. Some people never do, though. There's like, I've been through, in the last 3 or 4 years, probably more sort of changes than I have at any point in my life through various things that have happened and work and whatnot, family. Anyway, but the point is, I have always, like recently over the last few years, been on a kind of quest of self-realization to try and become wiser and improve myself, whether it be through exercise or mental abilities or whatever. I always try to improve in some degree. And there's like friends that I've not spoke to in a few years, and I just automatically assume that people will be on the same journey as me. And there's a girl I used to know. There was nothing sexual ever went on between us. She's a very attractive girl, but
you can't just say that. It's not. I don't think it's relevant.
What's relevant?
Whether you had sex with her or not.
No, because it's important, because like male-female relationships, the dynamics change if there's like been a sexual relationship. I think if it's like purely platonic, which it has been between me and her.
Okay, so she's a good friend who's also.
She's a good friend who happens to be very attractive and quite privileged. She comes from her dad.
So you would have sex with her if you had the opportunity?
No, but this is the thing. I'll be honest with you. I'm not, if I've got friends that are girls that I'd fuck till the brains came out of their ears, but not her. There was never kind of any spark. I don't know what it was. I can't explain it. But anyway, quite privileged, very intelligent, very fucking manipulative. And when a few years ago, she her boyfriend at the time was somebody that I would say I was friends with, who worked at our place, and she found out that he was had been cheating on her on and off with somebody from where I work for, that she used to work for. Are you following me so far?
Yeah.
So what she did, in some kind of spiteful way to get back at him, when she found out who this girl was, she pretended she'd been beaten up by this girl. She pretended that this girl had got her mates to beat her up. She came round mine. I didn't realise it at the time. She came round mine with makeup on to make it look like she'd been attacked.
Right.
Now, this played out for a number of months until the guy told me what had gone on, and I didn't believe him. And then he told me a couple of points. I was like, fucking hell, he's telling the truth. And
what did he say that made you know he was telling the truth?
Well, he had a photograph of
you?
No, a photograph of her that she'd sent him with this injury. Now, in the background was like a tomato ketchup bottle. You could vaguely see it on the photograph, and the red that she had on her, which was supposed to be blood, didn't look like blood. Now, that's just one piece of evidence. But also, when we tried to pick holes in the story of what she said, none of it made sense. She didn't report it to the police. This girl who apparently attacked her, she got she's not that way inclined. She had no motivation to do it. It was just, basically, she invented the whole thing. It was very interesting because she'd basically been sort of attacked in a way. If she'd found out that this guy who she'd been with for a year had been cheating on her on and off, her reaction to that, rather than dealing with it head on and confronting these, was creating a bigger victim mentality out of it. So making herself an even bigger victim, as well as being cheated on. She was also beaten up by the girl. So she had to create herself as being a bigger victim. And I can't believe, like, I got back in contact with her a few weeks ago because she sent me, I think I told you, I rung you when I was in Thailand, and that same day when I spoke to you, she sent me a video of her watching Snow Patrol. And I fucking hate Snow Patrol. And she's like, oh, look who I'm watching. I said, well, what the fuck are you sending me that for? So I thought, well, she must be, like, missing me or whatever, because we were very close. So I messaged her. Anyway, within a couple of days, we ended up falling out again. And I thought, you've not changed at all. You're still a prick. And I just assumed, stupidly, and I'm not trying to be, obviously in the chat yourself can let me know if this is like big-headed of me, but I just assumed that everybody kind of grows up. But some people never do. Like her kind of delusions and manipulation and kind of victim mentality haven't changed at all. Some people are stuck there forever. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, you have to also question what's happened to those people in their past to give them that mentality. Not that it excuses it, because obviously change and breaking the chain of whatever it is that made you this way is very important. But yeah, it's a bit like the thing I was saying the other day about, like, people, offence is a choice to be taken. And I know there's been a couple of articles I read today because Ricky Gervais came out saying a very similar thing, which he's been saying for years, and everyone's like, well, stop banging on about it now, Ricky. But people just want to be offended and then want to have the moral high ground, and sometimes they can't or just shouldn't. Sometimes, like, I mean, what you're talking about, that's pretty fucked up to make it look like someone else is beating you up. I mean, surely it's the boyfriend that's in the wrong. I don't understand. I mean,
because it's a way of. I thought about this quite a lot because it was a way of her. Because what was her choices in that situation?
Well,
she feel like she'd been betrayed, and also that some other girl had got the better of her. So,
but this is something I've learned over the last few years. And the moment someone disrespects you that greatly, then you turn your back on them and you never speak to them again, and you never give them the opportunity to.
Yeah,
because one day,
do you know what she did after that happened?
What did she do?
Got back with him.
Oh, well, that's just
and repeatedly
being weak.
It's like. She said to me, when I first met her, she was with this other guy. He was quite a nice guy, actually. And she told me one night, she said, I'd sooner die than cheat on him. And I actually believed her. And what did she do? She cheated on him. And I think she's so riddled with guilt that she actually thinks she fucking deserves to die because of what she's done. So she's consistently, like, punishing herself, but it manifests in different ways. And I don't think she deserves. I don't mean she thinks.
No, I don't think she deserves to die, but I don't think she's.
No, I think that she thinks she deserves to die.
No, I don't think she thinks that.
I don't know. What I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, but I disagree.
Right, but no, I don't mean that she thinks she deserves to die and sits there thinking, right, I should be dead. But what I mean is she's probably not as extreme as that. She's so riddled with guilt because of what she's done, and it's something so alien to what she thought she was that she can't handle it. It's like a little bit like Lorne, really. Lorne can't process the fact that that's why he can't go over the chat log. He cannot and doesn't have the ability to totally self-reflect and go over that chat log and realise what he became and what he's become. He can't do it. And it's the same with her. This guy was supposedly the nicest guy in the world, did everything for her, and she got with a bit of a... I mean, he was alright, that guy that she got with, but he's a proper deviant. He literally steals other people's girlfriends all the time. It's just the way he is. Right. So, you know what I mean? Well, nobody deserves to die, Carol. We're talking about somebody's guilt. People, when they do terrible things that they can't accept, how do they deal with it? Some people punish themselves through various ways. It's kind of what we're talking about. And hello, by the way.
It's one of those things that I think it all comes back to being happy alone. The kind of people that go to those extremes to get back at someone or to get revenge on someone are the people that constantly need to be vindicated by having a partner, to be told that they're loved or whatever it is they need. Like some people, like I've known girls that just go from relationship to relationship, like straight away, like, and it's weird. And I think a large part of maturing and growing up is kind of being happy on your own.
But it can be very difficult, though.
Yeah,
It
well,
can,
I mean, no
because
one wants to be alone. Everyone wants to be with someone. I'm not saying forever, but if
you let that consume you, I've been in that position where there was like times in my life where I like lacked confidence and things weren't going well and I had family problems. So, did I say family problems then? But don't forget, fanny means ass. I had ass problems.
in the UK it means vagina. So you had some queefing fanny problems.
I did, and
Queef
I
Latifah.
was struggled to like couple up with somebody, and it got me down. But I was dealing with it all the wrong way. It was like I lacked wisdom. I didn't lack. It's not that I didn't have enough about me to find somebody. It was just I didn't know how to go about it. But if you deal with it the wrong way, and you let that need, we all have a psychological and physical need to become whole again with the opposite, with the other sex.
Yeah.
And if you let that consume you,
the same sex these days.
oh yeah, of course, yeah. But what I mean is, I understand why some people get so down about it, and it fucks them up, because it's like, we were going to do a stream on kind of melding into what we were going to talk about, how relationships destroy people. And when I was telling you about my friend, I think that all these crazy decisions that she's made, it's all about relationships and picking the wrong ones, and you can all trace it back to being scared, basically.
If she was confident enough to be alone, then she would be like, she would have just turned her back on the guy that cheated on her and just said, right, you never get to talk to me again. There's nothing like, there's nothing worse than someone saying, okay, there's never any chance for reconciliation. And I think when you do something like cheating, and I know, I've not always been the most moral of people in my youth, and I've had it happen to me, of course, but I think as you get older, you kind of go, okay, well, if someone disrespects you that much, then you just turn and walk away. And if you're the kind of person that doesn't and wants to come back and just have more drama, then you're the kind of person that'll end up on Jeremy Kyle.
Yeah, and some people, I've seen good people, or what were good people, fall into this trap of a couple of bad decisions and are lacking in a little bit of wisdom, and they turn into what you might consider bad people. So it's quite, relationships and a bad experience, if not dealt with correctly, can destroy you.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why there's so many twats around. I was talking to this girl before that, I know, and she was telling me she was on a dating website. I can't remember. I'm not sure if she told me which one it was. And it's not. I don't think it's anything that we don't already know. But she was on there, and within a few days, she had like 30 or so messages, all obscene, telling her to send them photographs of various body parts of hers, which weren't necessarily sexual, which was very strange. And it was just...
Yeah, but some people get off on feet, some people get off on armpits.
Yeah, I know.
It might not seem sexual to you, but it probably was to those guys who were asking.
But why would you want, if you don't know somebody and you just start talking to them, why would you want, like, why would you ask for sexual photos anyway?
Honestly, that's beyond me, but it's the same reason that men send dick pics to people that they aren't in a relationship with or haven't been solicited. Like, that's something that's beyond me as well. Why would you want to... I don't see the benefit to doing that to people. If you're a single man, I don't know, it might be quite a good experiment. Like, set up two profiles on Tinder, like two catfish profiles, but one of them you just start every conversation by sending a dick pic, and one of them you just say, hello, how are you? And I wonder which would get more success.
That'd be quite an interesting. Why don't you do that?
I'm not going to do that.
Oh, right, well, never mind. Apparently, I'm getting an echo. Is there any way that could be from your end, Adam?
Oh, it might be. Hold on, let me check my Skype microphone. I didn't know there was an echo.
It's on my part, apparently, when I speak. I'm just wondering if when I talk to you, it's coming through twice through.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, that microphone seems fine. We had this problem before, and it was something to do with my audio settings. But, so I'm not getting an echo when you're talking to me. Sorry, guys, bear with me.
Yeah, cheers for letting us know, Carol. We're trying to sort it. And hello, Lucky7 Tattoo and Piercing. How are you doing?
Right, hold on. I'm just going to try this. I don't know if it's going to work. Okay, can you let us know if Andy's still got an echo? Say something, Andy.
Yeah, could you... Yeah, just give us a shout, guys. See if there's any difference. If there's not, then we're doomed. Doomed!
Doomed, I tell you.
Well, we'll carry on anyway, because we can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Better, right. That's good.
Okay. Okay, is it better? Yeah, okay, good. Sounds the same.
Oh, right. Don't.
Bugger. I think it's because you're repeating through both the microphone and the desktop. Right. If I mute the desktop, will people still... Right, say something, Andy. Guys in the chat, can you let me know if you can hear Andy now?
Hello, guys. Give us a shout. Let us know if you can hear me.
Right, did you hear that? Because I've muted the desktop audio now, but now I'm not sure if you're coming through at all.
All I hear is Peter K. Yes, but can you hear an echo of Peter K?
Or can you hear him at all? You can hear him? Yes? That's not as good. I can, but it sounds muffled. Brilliant. Now he's really low. That's because he's coming through the microphone. But if I turn the microphone down, you won't hear me at all. I think we're just going to have to live with an echo, guys. I won't turn him up quite as loud. That might help. Right, let's see if that's...
Right, I was sending now, guys.
Yeah. This digression into audio bollocks.
Yeah, we really should sort this before we come on.
But yeah, but we got no way of hearing it ourselves.
That's what I mean. We don't... Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? It might be something to do, but I don't get an echo when I record videos through these settings.
No, but it's because you're coming through my computer and then you're going through both the microphone and the desktop.
I think it's. I don't think it's annoying, but I don't think it's pissing that many people off where it's gonna.
Okay, excellent. Well, we've got the most viewers for the part where we're just discussing the audio settings. Riveting stuff.
Riveting.
Anyway,
we're talking about how crazy people are, basically.
Yeah.
But we didn't want to go too far into the relationship element because we were going to do something on that another time, weren't we? I kind of like, we were kind of looking at, you know, how's society changed dramatically, or are we just getting older?
I don't know, maybe we just see more of it now because of technology and that kind of thing. It's a very difficult thing to talk about without upsetting people, because when I said my kind of piece on this before in the previous stream, I think it was a bit more aggressive about it and a lot more drunk, yes. And I think it kind of divided opinion, because I was sort of saying that all millennials aren't really brought up with the same values that we were, and I think it's because too much is it's given to them too easily. But then also, like, I worry for the youth of today because, like, they have access to stuff that we never had access to. And although it's great, like, that you've got a massive porn search engine at your fingertips, isn't it kind of worrying that that's there for everyone in the world to get to?
I think people's innocence is taken away too quickly when they're children.
Yeah. And that's due to, like, isn't it some? I don't know if it's the same, but a statistic like 10 years ago was something like 80% of all internet traffic is pornography. So you think about that.
It's. I think. I know we weren't going to get on it too much, but I don't suppose there's any way of avoiding it, really. If you look at male-female relationships, or any romantic relationships, whether it be same-sex or not, that's a huge... It goes throughout the world in that it causes the most conflict and drama in nature. So if you look at like how access to pornography has changed and how people's, because of online dating, because of people's access to getting porn, accessing it or becoming part of it or whatever.
Well, it's like that film.
Dial-up escorts. You could be a guy now.
Yeah.
Let's just
Dial-up escorts? Is that a demand?
What's that, sorry?
Dial-up escorts?
Yeah, a mate of mine, well, I don't hang about with him anymore because he's a bit of a twat, to be honest. He's very materialistic and... Anyway, that doesn't matter. But the point is, he got quite a bit of money, this guy, or so he fucking says he has. And his kind of thing is, if he doesn't pull, he will go home, call up an escort and do whatever he wants.
Well, I think you could always do that. I don't think that's something new with technology.
But it's easier now, though. It's easier because you just got to press a button online. And I think that changes. Okay, sorry to mention, but the echo is worse. Can you make it less than it was, for fuck's sake?
Well, that's something interesting to talk about citizens arrest as well. Yeah, like it's weird how many women are willing to make money by going on cam and showing themselves. Like there's whole sites dedicated to that sort of thing now. Is that not a bit scary as well, though? Like, if you had a daughter and they grew up and started doing that, would you be disappointed? Or would you be like, that's empowering, use your sexuality to make money, at least guys aren't actually touching you?
It depends which way you look at it, but I don't think, as a father, I don't think many fathers would be happy about that. You could call that a little bit close-minded, maybe. Funnily enough, the 20-year-old girl I've been telling you quite a lot about recently at work, she wants to make, she's not had a lot of money because she's just joined, she's got many years until she's earning a decent wage. She was talking about Andy's echoes, but we're going to have to sort this out.
Let me, okay.
Is there anything you think I can do at my end? Has anybody got any ideas?
I'm turning all the sound down very slightly. Is it better now, guys?
Right, guys, give us another...
Reverse the polarity. I don't know how to reverse the polarity. That sounds like something from Ghostbusters.
Doesn't it? Don't cross the street.
It depends if she is hot. Oh, Butler. Yeah. Okay, apparently it's much better now.
Oh, right, okay.
So Butler says it's all right, like, if your daughter does that as long as she's hot.
I couldn't really disagree with that, could you?
Well, I can see it from both sides. Oh, now you can barely hear him. Brilliant.
Right.
Right, I'm trying to find a middle ground here.
Right, we'll have to go with that, I think, guys, until we figure out 100%.
Hopefully that might be a bit better. I don't know. Okay, but obviously says it wasn't hurting his ears. So we're trying to find a middle ground. And hi everyone who's come in that I haven't said hello to.
Hello.
So yeah, no, in fact this is a very interesting topic though. Like, do you think like girls that go on cam and take off their clothes for money, do you think it's, oh thanks Skeleton, but my headphones are in the other room. I could try wearing headphones. This is how I fixed it last time.
You want to go get your headphones?
I've got an old pair here. In fact.
Say something. Okay. It's probably not getting any better than that. Butler195 has just said, to be honest, I have a 13-year-old daughter, and if she grew up and went into porn, I would be gutted. Now, I would suggest that most parents, fathers especially, would say that. I think it's wrong to judge, but I think most blokes would say that, because I've been a parent to a little girl, and I know what it's like, and you see them as a little, just an angel, don't you? And it'd be difficult to accept, wouldn't it? But yes, of course there is a porn, isn't it? Lawrence Fishburne's daughter's become a porn star, and he just doesn't speak to her. Or there's some kind of, that's what's been reported anyway, and maybe a bit of both. I don't know. Is it seedy? Right. Okay, guys. Just let us know. Can you hear Adam? Can you just hear?
No, I've got my headphones. I have been talking, guys, but I don't think you can hear me. But it only works now. I've had to take the headphones out because apparently it's not picking up the microphone.
Right, I can hear myself now. This is just.
This is a comedy of errors. Yeah, now, but you might get the echo back from Andy now because I've had to take the headphones out.
We're just gonna have to.
Yeah, so I was saying quite a lot to Andy there that I thought was quite poignant, and I'd be curious to hear what you guys are saying in the chat, especially with Butler saying you've got a young daughter as well. I was asking Andy, because someone mentioned, Butler said you wouldn't be happy with your daughter doing porn. The echo's on my end now. What the fuck? For fuck's sake. Everyone seems to be echoing now. I think it's a problem with Skype because Skype's been fucking me over a lot recently.
Yeah, I can hear. I can hear echo now. But I can put up with that as long as nobody else can hear it.
Yeah, let's just go. It's listenable. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, apologies, guys. We'll sort it at some point before the turn of the century.
It can't be as bad as when you played all that static through your microphone and then kept telling everyone to shut up when they told you that it was unlistenable.
How has this been just related to a point in the past when I made bad audio and it's suddenly related to that? How has that happened?
Well, anyway, right. So what I was saying is Butler said he wouldn't be happy with his daughter doing porn, and I said, but being a cam model is different to doing porn. Like with porn, there's risks and there's STDs involved, and you might end up working with dodgy, seedy people. But some girl that just takes money for doing stripteases from her bedroom, is that seedy or is it empowering?
Isn't it? I don't think you could ever dismiss it. It'd be very judgmental to just say it's seedy and that's the end of it. I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with it per se. I've been out with it. I was going out with a stripper once. She didn't I didn't see anything wrong with it. Not that I was, Yeah, but obviously as being a father, it might be a bit different. I mean, what do you think?
I don't know. I think if you're the father of the daughter, then you might be a bit disappointed. It's difficult to say because I'm not a father, and how you might feel at the time. But at the same time, I'd far rather find out my daughter was doing that than being a porn star. Why not take money from men that are at least protected behind a computer screen, can't touch you, and at least, you're safe from STDs, then it's not like they're actually going out fucking people, is it? I don't.
is right. It all is in your attitude. It's all with regard to what's the most important is the state of consciousness. I'm sorry if that sounds a bit new agey, but the state of consciousness is the best way I think of putting it, of the person who's doing it. So if you are a girl and you need a bit of money and you are aware fully of what you're doing and the limitations and the dangers and you've got integrity and you do it for a certain reason and you don't allow to slide, because I was watching a documentary, I cannot remember which one it was, and it was about the escort industry. And the girl was saying, as far as she's concerned, that money is more important than anything else, and she doesn't mind sleeping with 4 or 5 guys a night. Now, I don't want to be judgmental, but I find that very hard to accept, that money is more important than your own integrity. And
no,
am I being too judgmental by saying it's lacking integrity to sleep 5 guys a night for money? Is that wrong of me to say?
I still want to come back to these cam models and address citizens' arrest comment, because it's something I hadn't thought about. And of course, I guess to do that kind of job, you need to be quite strong-willed, because men can be aggressive, and when they're behind a computer screen, they can say horrible things, men and women. So I think it's actually like, if you're in the right mindset and you're like a strong, independent woman that doesn't mind showing her body, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that if you want to make money from it. It seems that I seem to be in the minority here, because everyone is saying like this in the what is prostitution? It's any act of selling your sexuality for money, regardless of when and how. But put the shoe on the other foot. What if you happen to be a dude that did it and wanked off and people paid you? Would that still be the same? Would people still think it's prostitution?
It's an interesting question, but what I would say is,
sorry, Andy, and obviously said no woman should exploit their body for money, but if they're comfortable with it, then why not? Like, if no woman had ever exploited her body, I would have found finding things to wank over a lot more difficult.
But watching porn has been proven to be unhealthy anyway.
Well, how is it unhealthy?
Well, when I say proven, you're going to start having a go at me because I can't tell you the exact book. But there's a guy, the guy that you just dismissed as being a bald idiot and wouldn't watch his videos.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He does he's a very educated guy. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But the point is, he says, and there is a bit of, because basically what you're doing with porn is you're kind of imagining yourself in that situation, and it's imagery which isn't real, and it's kind of, I don't know, I suppose it's not necessarily unhealthy, because
that's not porn. That doesn't make porn unhealthy. That means, and it's the same kind of argument we had to an extent over marijuana, that people have always had problems in their brain that lead to it. You go, who was the it was Ted Bundy documentary I was watching on Netflix the other day, and he was saying, well, it's pornography that led me to do this, and I watched all this fucked up pornography. Now, me, and to be quite forthcoming, if I watch porn, it's normally, it's not fucked up stuff, but it's nice to have a visual aid sometimes, isn't it? But I don't think it's unhealthy to me in any way.
But there's always the inclination to become addicted to it, and any addiction is unhealthy.
But that's if you're an addict.
Yeah, well, of course, that's what I mean.
Right, so porn is unhealthy to people who are addicts, but then people who are addicts, they become addicted to things I was about to say it's because they're weaker-willed, and then I thought people might turn on me. But the thing is, you could say the same, because I am a nicotine addict. I'm addicted to smoking.
You've got quite an addictive personality, Adam, haven't you? Even by your own admission.
Yeah, but I just like getting fucked up.
But you're addicted. But like, it's getting pissed is good, to some respect.
Yeah.
But, I think
if it starts to interfere with your work life and your personal life, then you've got a problem. That's the trouble. And the thing is, if you had a porn addiction and you stopped going into work because you're staying at home watching porn all the time.
No, I didn't mean it like that. Citizens arrest that you can't. People shouldn't watch porn because other people get addicted to it. I was only making the point that because of the access that's there these days. I was reading an article in the shitty Daily Mail today. I was only reading it because it was available in the copy place, and it was saying that there's a ridiculous percentage of people now which they believe are addicted to porn in the UK. More than there's ever been, which obviously they would be.
Well, that's because it's at our fingertips and there's such a variety of it.
Yeah, the thing is, you can watch it on your phone.
Well,
you can watch it on your phone, and the thing is,
too small. Please fap responsibly. Thank you, Mark.
It's good advice to be fair. But what I mean is, I don't. It'd be interesting. I'm gonna have to read a bit more about this because I can't remember the exact quotes, but there's some psychologist who said that. And as an overall thing, watching porn, I suppose it's just the amount that you do it, because as a body we all need releases every now and again. It is known to be healthy to masturbate, isn't it? For the human body, whatever.
Isn't it better as well that we have porn? To put this into a weirdly hypothetical ethical question. When you're in a relationship with someone, wouldn't you prefer that your partner's wanking off over some random dude in LA or whatever than thinking about previous things? Because they can't think about you all the time because you get to fuck them regular. So I think I'd rather that person just use porn. But I guess that's being the mind police, isn't it? What have I become? I'm a millennial now.
Yeah, it's a complicated subject, really. I mean, this addiction thing is quite interesting because, one of the reasons that what we're talking about is because I believe there's more extremes now in any form of life. The depressed people are more depressed, the arrogant people are more arrogant, and the narcissist. I hate the word narcissist because it gets thrown around too much, but it is appropriate sometimes. The narcissistic people are more narcissistic because of it's magnified because of social media. Anybody that has a particular interest or a particular personality trait, it gets magnified because they can go online and find lots and lots of people who think and say the same things. I was with that girl at work the other day, and she was on Instagram or whatever it is, and doing all these filter photos, and she was on it all the time. She's literally addicted to it, and she's not, she's a normal thing for someone her age. And she is self-obsessed.
But you and I don't use Instagram, so we don't really know the workings of it. And just to bring it back to porn for a moment.
Fucking love porn.
I know, but listen, right? The thing is, what if, okay, you said that porn's unhealthy for you, okay, but what if you didn't watch porn, then you went out and slept with people just all the time, and, just random strangers, and you get STDs? Because you're like, porn is a release.
There is another side to that. There is a good case. I went to a lecture once. It wasn't really a lecture. It was a talk for my work. And I asked this guy and said, "What makes people do more, paedophile or into bestiality?" And his answer was that in a lot of cases, people want to get this high from watching various forms of porn. So they'll start off with softcore, then hardcore, then it will go to even more extreme versions of, say, like pretend rape. I don't like saying that, but you know what I mean.
But I think that's something that's in those people's minds already. You can't say that. I've been watching porn for 23 years or something. I've never once wanted to watch a rape scene. No, I've watched things that go to the extreme to some extent, but everyone has to be enjoying it, or I don't want to watch it, or at least pretending to enjoy it.
I think maybe it's the same argument that you could make for violent video games, in that there's always been the argument, and it doesn't really seem to get talked about much these days, in that violent video games make people violent because Grand Theft Auto, you've got a game there that literally you can fucking run around the streets murdering people, committing terrorist acts, just basically creating fucking untold chaos.
Yeah, and this is something that really makes me angry about the modern world. And I don't know if it was you I was talking to about, Andy, or if it was on one of those drunken streams I did last week. But I was saying, like, I got really angry because I'd come back from the UK, and in the airport I picked up a free copy of The Sun, and there was this tiny little paragraph. I know I've mentioned this previously on a stream, guys, so I apologise for repeating myself. But I think it's kind of a problem, and you could also say the problem here is the mainstream media propaganda and paparazzi or whatever, but there was a paragraph saying older 13-year-old brother rapes his 6-year-old sister after copying a scene from Grand Theft Auto 5. And I thought, for one, there's no scene where anything like that.
That's terrible journalism, isn't it?
Absolutely. And the thing is, it was in such a small, disrespectful paragraph. If it was really true, it was just like, let's just put this in here to fill up this shitty, cunting newspaper with absolute bollocks that's going to make people who don't understand video games hate them, because there is nothing in GTA that implies that you should fuck your younger sister.
Those are the real type of villains I hate.
I know the stuff you can do in GTA is dark, but I'm fully aware that it's a large problem. This comes with the parents, and video games are 18 for a reason now, and for some reason it's never sunk in with people that, it did with films, but people have never gone, well, they've got, oh, it's a video game, but it's a video game. He has to play it, so it doesn't matter the age restriction. I'll just buy it. It's like, well, yeah, they're just putting it on there for a fucking laugh. But for the Sun to then just write such a fucking pathetic article.
It's disgraceful. There's no excuse for that kind of. You're deliberately misleading people just to make money, and that's what a lot of journalists do these days. They're not interested in reporting the facts, and it's the same. We can talk about this another time, but movie reviews, it fucking winds me up now. You see these reviews for the movies, and they're totally misleading because they're getting told to what to say, or they'll fall out with the producers of the movies and not get the premiere tickets and all that nonsense. Journalism's terrible, and the reason I made the comparison with violent video games to sort of porn is because when I say it can be dangerous for certain types of people, those people that there will be people with issues that play games like GTA and it doesn't do them any good. Can we agree with that?
Yeah.
But those people are dangerous anyway. So it's magnifying an existing problem. Now, if you don't get it in video games, there's no way of existing on this planet in the form that we do as a species without having some kind of medium like newspapers, magazines. The internet is an extreme version of it, but there will always be a way of magnifying those feelings you have. So if you are a very angry person, or you've got some kind of deficiencies that were caused when you were younger, you will find a medium somewhere that will magnify it, whether it be movies, video games, music. I watched Bowling for Columbine, and there was the saddest part of that whole documentary is that Marilyn Manson got, I'm not into that person's music, but he got blamed for not blamed, but some of his music got blamed for it, and it was like the poor bastard. He's no interest in causing people shit.
Yeah, he's a really intelligent, articulate guy as well.
You can tell that. He does. And he said something that was really interesting. He said, I think he had the question he asked him is, if you could speak to those people, what would you say to them? And he said, I wouldn't say a word, I'd listen, because nobody else has done. And you could tell how intelligent he was, and I really felt for that guy. I thought, what a terrible situation to be in. All he wants to do is be creative, make this music for people's entertainment. He's got no other inclination than to do that. And people fucking think that he's somehow part to blame for the fucking atrocities that happen. I mean, what it's ridiculous.
Just because he made gothic music, and that was his style and his art, and I got some gothic art, and there's pictures and there's music and things that may say bad things in them, but just because that happens,
Bye, Carol.
Bye, Carol. It doesn't mean you can it doesn't give you an excuse. It just annoys me that like so many kind of atrocities have happened. Like, I mean, in the US, it's fucking crazy. Like, the schools have got metal detectors on them because so many kids run in with guns and stuff. And then it's all like, well, who can we blame? And I'm sorry to say it, like, it doesn't come from video games or rock music or rap music. It comes from those people not having um, empathy for others, not
But where does that
understanding.
come from, though? Where does this lack of
They believe in their minds that, well, those two bowling for Columbine guys, I don't know what was going on in their minds. Like, some of these people, they convince themselves that they're more worth. I mean, for me,
But should we not? Isn't it wrong to condemn those people? There's a very interesting TED talk by a guy who attempted to commit an atrocity. He was, I can't remember what he was planning to do, but he was planning to do some kind of shootout at a school.
but then he didn't do
He
it.
did a TED. Sorry, what was that, mate?
But then he didn't do it.
Well, no, I don't think they'd have let him do a TED talk if he had, but he, for whatever reason, he either got caught or decided against it or something. And this guy said that he felt so out of touch with reality, he felt so different and bullied and wronged. And I'm not listening. Please don't think I'm saying, oh, well, let's give him a chance because he. I'm trying to say there's a reason that people do it. People are not inherently evil. There is something that went seriously wrong somewhere in their life that made them do this. And as a society, we have to look at that. We have to look at
The problem,
the actual cause and not the symptom.
yeah, but you don't know that these people have these inclinations in their minds until they've actually done something. I mean, this guy
No,
could
of course not.
say
Of course not.
anything, and then once they have done them, then I don't think. I mean, if it is atrocities, if it is killing other people, I mean, that's the one thing I think should be ingrained in everyone's mind, that no one else's life is for you to take.
I think it all stems from taking responsibility for your life, doesn't it? If something bad happens to you, terrible things can happen and people can wrong you. And it's a minefield out there, and it's a complicated world to live in. Relationships are tricky, and anything. We live in a world where anything can be taken away from you at any point. And it's very easy to get lost in fear. And if you don't deal with those things the right way, but you have to take responsibility for everything that happens to you. Things that might necessarily seem out of your control, obviously.
Yeah.
Not everything, the extreme things, of course. I don't mean it like that, but what I mean is, a classic would be, you get with a girl or a guy, and they cheat on you and end up doing something, robbing your bank account and fucking you off and leaving you in tatters.
Yeah.
The normal default position at that point would be to say they're a monster, and you cling to that.
Yeah.
To that sort of hatred, and that would fuel you and keep you going. Like my friend who was telling you about earlier, that's the way she lives. She's demonised that guy. But ultimately, what she failed to realise is that she cheated on her boyfriend and got with this guy. It's karma. And she has to take responsibility for it, and she never has.
Well, I think you can look at that in two ways, though, because she may have cheated on her previous boyfriend. She hadn't, from what you've told me, done anything to this guy, though. So I'm not justifying her
Well, she did,
afterwards.
but that's not the point. The point, what I'm trying to say is, if you get with somebody and they wrong you, and they turn out to be not the person that you thought they were, you have to take responsibility and say, well, I fucking got with that guy or that girl. What was I? Was it something that I didn't pick up on?
Well, yeah, I think when you say that, you're preaching to the choir.
I know, I didn't mean it to get personal to you.
Right.
Because we've talked about this in detail before, haven't we? It's not,
I'm
not trying to relate it specifically. We've all been there. We've all been cheated on, or been wronged, or been in abusive relationships. I'm pretty sure everybody in the chat at some point will have been through something similar where they have been what they would perceive to be wronged. But ultimately, clinging to vilifying that person achieves nothing. The power is taking responsibility. If you take full responsibility and
But then
forgive that person, I'm not saying it's easy.
you come back to my point though. If you can do that, if you can take responsibility, then you cut someone out of your life who's like that. If someone is
You don't have to cut them out, though.
tumorous, well,
The humorous people, do we not mind touching upon your situation a little bit?
yeah, you can do. Obviously, yeah, fine. But yeah,
Particular people have to be cut out because you make a decision as an intelligent person or whatever, and you say, no matter what I do, I cannot have that person in my life, and you have to cut them out. And it may seem selfish at the time, but some people think that they are doing good and will say, no, I don't want to hurt that person, so I'm going to stay friends with them, when really they're self-deceiving themselves because they don't want to break that attachment and they like the attention. When it would be better for everybody, because sometimes you've got to be cruel to be kind, haven't you?
Yeah, but in regards to my situation a while ago, I thought I was doing the right thing by remaining friends. I just realised some people aren't capable of change.
Yeah, you did think you were doing the right thing, but you weren't deceiving yourself because you wanted the attention. You was doing it to be a decent person, and it backfired on you. Is it fair to say maybe he was a little bit naive?
I probably was. I should have been a bit stronger and said, okay, after everything that's happened, it's not worth talking to you ever again. But I suppose I hoped. I just didn't want to be proven that some people are just beyond change or taking responsibility, but clearly they are. But anyway,
we don't need to.
We don't need to elaborate.
No, of course not.
Sorry, just say hi, Mama Pat. I hope you're doing well. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Andy.
No, I was just saying we've gone into we've gone into the sort of downfalls of relationships, but I suppose we talked about.
Well, I was most enjoying the porn and the cam girls chat. To be honest.
Just stemmed on. Well, of course you were, you dirty bastard. But
no, but I think that's a very curious topic because it's a whole new niche. I don't know if you're actually familiar with these cam sites, Andy.
You told me about them in great detail.
That wasn't me.
Of course I'm familiar with it.
Wasn't me that told you.
I wasn't supposed to say that.
Yeah.
He actually runs one of these websites on the side.
I wish. They make a lot of money. The only girls I trafficked were young ones for you.
I'm still waiting for them.
Well, they died in the box in the cargo. I just told you still had to pay.
Oh. You forgot to put holes in the boxes, you idiot.
Well, you told me you were going to put holes in their boxes. Right. Anyway, yeah. No, I think porn. Like a lot of people are saying, yeah, we watch porn. There was even Citizens Arrest if they're female, they watch porn. Everyone should watch some porn from time to time because it's like it's gratifying. Like, don't watch horrible porn. Watch nice porn. What I just miss is porn with a proper build-up, like a nice storyline and. You know, a sort of badly acted storyline, but enough to keep you interested. And you see the women walking around with clothes on first of all, and you're like, yeah, if I'm patient with this, she's gonna get naked soon.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah. No, there's nothing. I suppose my point was, although I didn't realise it, is that most people tend to have addictions to these things. Now,
No, they don't.
Most Citizens Arrest was right. You can't.
I don't think you could say most people though.
I don't know. I found myself not now, but I used to have a little bit of an addiction to it. I think.
How many hours a day would you watch?
Not even in hours. I couldn't calculate it in hours.
What do you mean? Like months? Like you just didn't sleep?
No, I mean I just think I watched too much porn in one day. Then probably was a good idea.
That's not an addiction. What, you couldn't count it in hours though? I mean, like...
No, fuck that, no.
Would you be rushing home from work to get the porn on the TV?
No, not really.
Right. So you just thought you were watching a bit too much porn.
I think I was probably pleasuring myself too often in a day sometimes.
How many times a day?
Uh, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable divulging this. I don't know.
Fucking just say it.
76? No, joking. Probably record probably 10 or something.
You must have been on ghost loads by the end. I mean, 4's like healthy.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not 4. 1 or 2 a day, I think, is optimum.
Yeah. But like, there's always the tendency to do it more than your body needs it. But of course, that's not going to turn you into a psychopath. But there are people
Is there
out there.
though? Because like, once I'm done, I'm like, well, I'm not going to be ready for a while. Better do other stuff around the house and that. Do some work.
With your trousers off and oh, I'm ready again now.
Yeah, you just and then he's just counting
I'm
down.
having trouble getting to that part of the club. Oh, right, there it is. Right, hang on a minute.
No, yeah, no. Porn is good, just not horrible porn, and that's the trouble with the internet these days. We've got access to things we shouldn't really be able to see.
Well, there's. Did you watch that Netflix documentary called? What the fuck was it called now? Call Girls. No, not Call Girls. Hot Red. Oh, fucking hell, I don't know.
Anyway,
Anyway,
you're just making words up.
you making words up.
I mean,
No.
hot red, throbbing.
I can't remember, but the
Hot.
point is,
Did you see that documentary on Netflix where the men banged each other? No? Oh no, that wasn't Netflix.
in fact,
Documentary,
it
though.
was some kind of file sharing thing. Anyway, never mind. No,
No,
anyway, it was about girls that do porn for money, and
as opposed to the ones that do it for free.
the most popular form of porn these days, the most searched for term, if the program is to be believed, is pretend rape.
But that you're wrong, Andy.
Well, I just said if the program is believed to be, that's what they said. Apparently,
No, it's well documented. The current most popular search term is like, I'm not sure what the actual word for it is, but it's like mock incest. I think it's
right, well, it was produced like 3 or 4 years ago.
yeah.
This
Well,
documentary.
hopefully,
So it might
well,
change,
which is more healthy to watch though? Fuck, they're both pretty fucked. Which do you think is more healthy to watch? Mock incest or fake rapes?
I wouldn't like to let my brain go down that avenue and try and speculate. But I must admit, when I was on the last time I was on a porn site, I did have videos flash up going, "Mum gets it on with son," or something like, "This is a bit weird." So.
But what about was stepmom? That's kind of
not even stepmom.
No, you wouldn't have a go on your stepmom.
Oh, piss off, man.
Well, I don't know. I didn't even know you have a stepmom.
Don't.
Right then, so why are you getting so upset?
Because if I did have one, I wouldn't want to get it on with her, would I?
Why not? What's wrong with her? Is she ugly?
I don't know. Would you?
If she was hot.
Right. Okay.
I mean, it might upset my dad.
In the UK, it'd actually be illegal anyway.
What? You can't fuck your stepmom?
No. If there's like it's illegal, kind of. There's certain.
But it's not blood.
I know, but there's certain rules that say if it's part of your family. Like if you've been married and it's not, it's classed as being sort of incest. Not incest, but it's not legal anyway.
Well, let's start writing that letter to Parliament. I don't have a stepmom, so it's fine. But yeah,
maybe
a little bit of a legal issue.
CK just made a good point. Is it unhealthy from the fact that, let's just say that you're an average guy that's struggling to get a girl or whatever, and you use porn, often, twice a day, maybe 3 times, whatever, and then that inhibits your ability to find a meaningful relationship, because apparently there is the issue that watching porn can warp your perception of what real sex is like in a relationship.
That I agree with that statement. At the same time, though, is it like sometimes you do like, well, porn is easy. Like porn doesn't want to cuddle afterwards or anything, and you don't have to be nice to it. So yeah, you can become too reliant upon it and forget about real life relationships, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I think, if you do some stretches and stuff before you have sex, you can emulate a lot of stuff that happens in porn.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there's any. It's just like porn's just a little bit like social media. It depends how you use it. It depends if you're wise. There's nothing inherently wrong with it, and I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with. I mean, do you know when you were saying girls getting it on cam,
Yeah.
naked, and if there's anything wrong with it? What's the difference between that and an actress in a sex scene?
Well, I mean, if that actress wants to be in that sex scene and she's happy and she does it making money, I personally don't see anything wrong with that. But I guess the comparison I was trying to make, because before Butler mentioned that he would be upset if his daughter did porn, and I was saying is the cam, like if you're doing stuff solo on cam, is that considered porn, or is that just, is it empowering? I guess like because it's kind of. I think part of the reasons that these sites have become so popular over the last decade, the cam ones, is because it's so difficult to find softcore kind of porn or porn with kind of a build-up. Like if you go on, I don't know, whatever your site of choice may be, whether it's Pornhub or RedTube or whatever, and you're just inundated with all of these really, really graphic scenes straight away. It's just like, oh, look at this cock going in vagina, or look, two cocks in one vagina and one up the arsehole and one in the mouth. It's like, it's all just a bit, well, that's a bit much. So you can go and watch a girl that starts off in her underwear and go, okay, well, this is a nice build-up, and then she takes her clothes off. And it's like more old-fashioned going and watching a striptease. Maybe that's something to do with my generation, though. Like they used to.
I was going to say maybe that's got something to do with my genitals. Then
With my genitals.
Like, where's he going with this?
No, my generation, but so it's not
Talking
quite.
about my genitals.
Yes. So. I guess the question I was trying to ask is it as morally wrong as doing porn? Or I mean, doing porn isn't morally wrong, okay, but is it? I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's difficult because I don't think that doing that for money is healthy for a human being. That's my view.
When I was young, I always wanted to be a porn star.
But if you speak to them, I've never spoke to them, but if you look at interviews with porn stars, they always seem to have like a spiritual crisis or when they get home.
Did you see the two Louis Theroux documentaries he did?
There's loads of, there's loads of cases of it where they say, I kind of went through an awakening and realised it was wrong, and it's not, there's a reason why it's frowned upon. I don't think you should judge those people. Definitely don't judge those people because that would be ridiculous. But it's okay to have an opinion and say, I don't think it's right and I don't think people should do it. But then again, yes, CK, morals are about potential harm there is to society. Is porn harmful to society? Well, I don't know.
It depends on the type of porn. If it's all above board and legal and everyone's consenting and everything, then no, I personally don't think it is harmful to society. However, I will counteract that by saying, like, you get a lot, like this whole revenge porn thing, like a lot of people that are willing to be filmed and they don't think of the consequences and stuff, like when they do fall out with someone and they go, oh, do you know what, I've got this video of me banging her, I'm going to whack that online. Now, while that's the most disgusting thing someone could do, some people don't think twice about doing that to get back at an ex that leaves them or something.
Yeah, it's a complicated issue.
And if we didn't have so much porn, we probably wouldn't try to emulate porn all the time.
Yeah, I think there will become a time when there is no need for porn.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why?
Not in our lifetime. I think that people will become so enlightened that you'll either get sex or you won't, and it won't be a problem.
But people will still masturbate, Andy.
They will, but it doesn't mean that you need porn, does it? And people might not.
What? Yeah, no. Your vision of the future might be wrong though, because you'll just have like people wanking off all over the place because they don't know.
I didn't say I can see into the future.
Right. What do you think that's a better future? Do you think we've got a brighter future without why?
Because being porn is not having sex but wanting to have it. And you shouldn't want anything that isn't in the present moment.
No, because then it's not necessarily though. It's like, it's a release, it's relaxation. You feel horny, you jerk off. You might not necessarily want to have sex. Like, it might be insane to say it, but sometimes you just want to have a wank, even if you've got a partner available.
I don't think there's ever been a time where I've had a wank.
What was it Woody Allen said?
And they walked through the door and said, Andy, let's get it on. I go, no, I'll have a wank instead.
Well, maybe not when they're available. No, I think porn will always be there. In your crazy world where there's no more porn, everyone will just be jerking off over their imagination, and then like you'll be walking past someone's window and squirt jizz on you.
There won't be any need for it.
Why is that part of enlightenment? Why is that part of enlightenment? I think in your quest to be enlightened, I think you often come across more closed-minded.
Well, I disagree. That's just your interpretation, because you're not seeing things that I'm seeing.
Why would the world be a better place without porn?
I'm not saying that the world would be a better place in its current state without porn. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, in the future, human beings will be a very different entity than what they are now, and porn won't be needed. That's what I'm saying.
Of course it will. It might not be in the same thing as having it on the information superhighway and being able to look at whatever you want. Of course it will.
But you don't know
porn
that.
is sex is porn.
Other
than eating, drinking, and
alcohol and drugs won't be needed in the future.
Why?
Because an enlightened person wouldn't need to get fuck-faced every night, all the time. You just wouldn't. There'd be more fruitful things to do.
Such as?
Read. Do something creative.
Why can't you drink and read? Why can't you drink and read?
Sorry?
Why can't you drink and read?
You could do, but it's not. I found it's not as enjoyable. It's a bit difficult to get engrossed in a good book if you're a little bit tipsy or a little bit sozzled.
Well, it depends how drunk you are, but I think it heightens the experience.
You're not. The point is, you're not as functional as a human if.
So your ideal future is a world without drugs, sex, or alcohol. It sounds fucking boring. Why don't you just join the Mormons?
Okay. Well, yeah,
and actually, no. I'm sorry. I may have offended some Mormons there. I've actually met some really dirty Mormons. Anyway, but that doesn't sound fun at all.
Well, it wouldn't, because in our current, it would be if. Well, put it this way: if the way we are now as a species, and we're relatively early in our development we're very early in our development as a species. We're still pretty much monkeys. If we were to enter this enlightened world, we would destroy ourselves. And it's a bit of a paradox, really. Our search for a better world and a utopia on this earth would never work. Because if, let's just say, utopia happened now, and all the financial problems and all the terrible things that went on in the earth and all the struggle and bad things that happened didn't happen, the human race would go insane because it needs its drama, because it isn't ready. It isn't ready for that. We can't be. But eventually, when we go through this adolescent period that we're going through now, and we become what we're meant to be.
The world won't be around that long, Andy.
Maybe not.
No, it won't. It'll have all exploded, and we'll all be nothing again, as we all were before. Long before this ever happens.
Maybe. I don't think so, but that's just me. It doesn't, I can't see into the future.
Well, wait, how many more years do they say until the world disintegrates?
They don't say anything.
Or something.
They don't say anything. There's no time scale for these things.
Well, no, you could be right. I mean, the Japanese...
Says in the Bible, eventually every blade of grass will become a lion.
The Bible's
and it
policy.
says that the lion shall lie down with the lamb, which means that eventually there will be a utopia. But it isn't something that we're ready for.
Yeah, but that's the Bible.
No, I mean, citizens arrest, I know it's a complicated subject, and I wish I could convey what I'm saying, but of course we will always have that animal aspect to us, but it's about not necessarily controlling it, but observing it for what it is. And, if you let your full animal instincts take over, and, then sometimes that's not good.
But that's what separates us from animals, is consciousness.
Yeah, and that's
morality. And morality. Well, I'd say we've already done, for the most part, fairly well.
Really?
Well, yeah. Like you just said we're not far from monkeys, so surely you would be more forgiving than I would of the people that commit heinous crimes.
Sorry, I don't know what you mean.
Right, well, if we're still so close to animals, why is it that some of us haven't realised we shouldn't act like animals yet?
Because, well, sorry, you've kind of answered your own question. I don't really understand what your question is.
Well, I'm asking you the question, though. Like,
Well, I don't understand what the question
why
is.
aren't you more sympathetic towards people that commit heinous crimes?
Oh, I was. Don't I get criticised for defending Lorne Armstrong consistently?
Wait, so are you saying that you well, no, I won't make you say that because we'll get lots of... But what, so you're saying you defend him?
Well, I'm saying I try and not vilify him and just dismiss him as being a monster and think he deserves eternal torture.
But in this wonderful world without drugs and alcohol and sex, won't we...
say without sex, did I? That'd be silly. I don't think
Well, masturbation is sex.
No, it isn't. Not at all. It's ridiculous.
What do you think it is then?
Masturbation.
Right, so it's having sex with yourself.
You can't have sex with yourself.
Well, yeah, you can. You masturbate.
Right. Well, sexual intercourse is what I'm talking about. If you want to say
so
sex,
in your world,
intercourse and sex is two different things. If you're saying you can have
just
sex
said
with
sexual
yourself,
intercourse. You haven't answered your own question.
I haven't asked myself a question. So
you haven't answered what I've asked you.
You just said I haven't answered my own question, but you've asked the question. So
right, I've asked the question. I've asked the question, Mr. Pedantic. Right. So there's no sex in your world. Right, no.
Stop putting words in my mouth.
Right. Can you allow me to form a sentence?
No.
Well, you're going to have to.
Well, go on.
Right. So masturbation is sex.
Well, no, I don't agree with you.
Why not?
Right. Sexual intercourse is obviously something that you have to have with someone else. So if you're talking sex as a generic thing, which includes masturbation, looking at porn, everything else, then obviously it's just a word. That word means something different to you than it does to me. You said that you was kind of like taking the piss a little bit and saying, in this great world that you've come up with in the future where there's going to be no sex, but I never said that, did I?
Okay, no, there's going to be no masturbation.
I didn't say that either. I said there'd be no porn. I
Right.
didn't say there'd be no masturbation. I never said
Okay.
that.
And will there be predators to discuss?
No, obviously.
Right. Anyway, sex is masturbation. That's why you learn about it in sex education class. And as Woody Allen once said, don't knock masturbation. It's sex with someone you love.
Right, okay, well, let's just say that you're right and sex is masturbation. I never said that masturbation, in my view, would never exist. So your whole point was flawed anyway.
No, I wanted to talk about where everyone's going to jizz when they've got no porn to watch.
I don't know, in a fucking cupboard or a bag.
Well, yeah, but what are they going to wank over? I only wank in a cupboard when I've got some porn. Otherwise, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it.
Have you ever masturbated without porn?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
When times have been desperate, when the internet's been down.
I probably masturbated without porn more than I have with it.
Yeah, but
imagination is better than staring at. That's in my opinion, yeah. Of course it is.
Well,
I can imagine myself having sex with Paris Hilton. I can't look at a screen and see myself having sex with Paris Hilton.
No, but you can watch Paris Hilton having sex with someone else.
I know, but I'd sooner let my mind create me having sex with her.
Well, so you just look at a picture of her in... Well, yeah, but you're still using...
No, I just
use your memory.
In my mind where I'm looking at Paris Hilton on a bed and I'm fucking her.
Right. That doesn't sound sexy at all.
Well, to me it is.
Yeah, why is imagining sex more holy than watching porn?
I didn't say it was.
Okay. Like, I like to have visual aids. Aids with an E. I think there's a wide world of porn out there to be discovered.
Yeah, of course it is.
But anyway, so when everyone's just masturbating out the window, don't blame me when you get covered in jizz in your utopia.
Well, it's not gonna... Oh, Andrew, you say things. No, I never said it's more holy than watching porn. You put those words in my mouth. I explain things, you interpret them, then have a go at me for denying it. So, let's get that right. There's no other way to interpret your concepts. Well, there's no other way for you to interpret those concepts. What I've said, I believe that in the future there's going to be no need for porn. And I said, I cannot. It's just a thing. It's just a realization that I have that there's going to be no need for all this porn when things come on and things like that. So I can't answer every question because this reality doesn't exist for me yet. I can't see into the future. It's just an idea. It's just a feeling I have where we're going as a species. So of course, I can't answer all those questions.
Why bother thinking about that? Because it's not going to happen in our lifetimes.
Well, to be fair, it's not something I've sat down and thought about before, but from my experiences of studying all that kind of thing and where we're headed, there's going to be no need for television.
Do you ever think it might be more of a waste of time studying like spiritual stuff and things that never happened?
I'm not studying spiritual stuff and things that never happened.
Okay. Well, the Bible, that never happened.
I don't really study the Bible.
Okay.
You don't know that it didn't happen.
Well, it was embellished.
Well, I don't know. I don't really. I just know that there's quotes of wisdom from it. That's all.
Yeah, I think sometimes you think things that can be good things you're too down on.
What do you mean?
Well, like you always go, I should play less video games and I should read more books and stuff. But something like Red Dead is, I think, one of the most important pieces of culture. Like, video games are the new books.
Right. I have not denied that there's some fantastic pieces of entertainment like Grand Theft Auto and stuff. Of course, I'm a video game fan. What I'm saying is, and I'm guilty of it myself, so I'm not fucking criticising any other person, is that you must admit by your own inclination is that you've probably spent too much of your life playing FIFA.
Playing FIFA, yeah, but I could have played other games that would have been more rewarding.
Right, citizens arrest. Forgive me if I'm getting too annoyed, but when have I said why can't people relax? When have I said that people shouldn't relax? This is what I mean.
I don't think that's directed directly at you, Andy. I think that's more of just a general why can't people relax.
Right, for instance, there's a lot of good TV out there, isn't there? Thought-provoking, some stuff that enriches people's lives. There's a lot of stuff out there on TV, Netflix, whatever, that's shite. That I genuinely believe people are totally wasting their time watching. That's just literally. Why do they call it the idiot box? It's not, you know.
There are various things out there that are a complete waste of time. Some of these sort of very lowbrow reality shows, but then some of those reality shows are really good. Like I fucking love Kitchen Nightmares. That might be scraping the bottom, but you learn stuff from it. I've learned how to cook some things from it, and it's interesting.
Yeah, no, but like I'm just trying to think of something that's just, in my view, fucking totally.
Something like Big Brother.
Well, that's the one thing that sprung to mind actually. Like Big Brother, I think one of the things that sort of hit me about what people do to waste the time is when I get so upset when someone who doesn't do what you do. I don't go in rages at people who don't do the same as I do.
People are just leaving general comments and you're taking it personally.
Well, I thought it is directed at what I was saying.
No, you need to become more enlightened.
So do you, my friend. Do you want me to give you some teachings?
Not really, no.
No.
Well,
just go and get another beer.
It doesn't bother me though. Like, I'm not the one stressing out over the comments.
I'm not stressing out, I'm just addressing the points.
But they're not being directly at you.
Okay, well, it just seemed as though they were.
No. You need to. I mean, one of them literally said, "Why can't people?" I don't know what the shade means, CK.
I think your beef is wasting time, but you seem to want to overhaul the entire. You seem to want.
I think that one is directed at you.
Right, you seem to want to overhaul the entire human race. Well, I don't want to overhaul anybody, but I think that if you look right, do you agree that as an overall thing the human race is insane? Is that something that we can agree on?
I look at things that happen and I say, why the fuck is that happening? That's ridiculous.
But if you look at, we're pretty much, as a species, overall ego-based. We all have a sense of self, which is an illusion that we act upon.
Well, no, if you didn't think you were worth anything, you wouldn't feel very good about yourself.
What's that, sorry?
If you didn't think you were worth anything, you wouldn't feel very good about yourself.
I don't mean it like that. When I say a sense of self, like a sense of self that's separate from anything or anybody else, from the greater whole. We're all part of a singular kind of entity, if you will.
As an existentialist, what can I really do? I'm not that bothered about changing anyone else. I just like to stay away from psychos. I don't think having a philosophy, just doing what I want and enjoying myself, there's nothing wrong with that. We're all going to die and go to nothing eventually anyway.
There is absolutely nothing wrong with the way you live at all.
Right.
You do more good than harm.
Well, yeah, probably. Yeah, hadn't even thought of that.
It's not what you do, it's how you live your life. If you're kind to other people and you're true to yourself, and you do nice things for people, but you're not like over the top and you think, oh, I would walk around saying I'm a good person, then it doesn't really matter if you spend time drinking beer or playing FIFA. You've got to have fun, you've got to relax. The point is, too many people waste too much time on shite, buying crap that they don't need, eating shit that's bad for them, watching TV that is dog shite,
Bye, Martin.
I see extremes of it in my line of work, and yeah, I probably see a bit more of a cynical side to it, which is probably why I've got that kind of attitude. It doesn't matter. Really, everybody's going to wait. You could look at it two ways. We have a lot of time to do things on this planet, and not a lot of time. People say life's short, but it's the longest thing you do. So it's a bit of a funny way of looking
Well, I
at it.
think people more say life's too short because you don't know when it could be taken away from you at any time. It's not so much life is short, and then you get to 90 and you go, oh, bollocks, it wasn't that short, was it?
No, it's like... I probably struggle with it too much because I sometimes struggle to make a decision on what to do with my time, because I know that sitting there watching TV all night isn't for me. So I struggle to find the right balance of relaxing and kind of doing something productive. For instance, I cannot sit there and just watch TV. I just can't. I've got to be doing something at the same time. So, for instance, I'll sit there, I want to watch some TV, I'll play guitar at the same time so that I'm getting something out of it. So I'll learn a new tune or something. Or sometimes I'll sit there and read at the same time. That's just the way I am. There's nothing wrong with that. With what you do, it's just from my point of view, I see extremes where people just, you're not one of them, by the way. I mean, but people waste this gift of life too much. I'm not, you kind of were defending yourself.
But yeah,
nothing was ever aimed at you.
Okay, but how can I enjoy my life more? Like, no, not aiming at you, just as a general question.
Said I'm envious of your situation. So
no, I'd like to have sex more.
Well, you wouldn't. I enjoy drinking beer.
Yeah.
The rest of us are enjoying it. I'm still enjoying Paul. You're taking things you loathe in yourself and projecting it into others. Well, what do I loathe? Tell me what I loathe.
Well, let's not make an argument out of porn.
No,
it's something we can all enjoy together.
Saying, you're taking things you loathe and projecting them in others. What is it that I loathe? Habits. Which habits? My habits. Right.
Well, anyway, what were you saying before?
I don't know what was I saying before.
I don't know. You wanted to drink more beer.
So, all the stuff you're on about, right? Time wasting habits. So,
just address the beer thing first.
What beer thing?
A minute ago, you just said I want to drink more beer.
Well, drinking beer is an enjoyable experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
To some people it isn't, but I enjoy having a drink. Sometimes I like the way it makes me feel. For some reason, I enjoy music more when I've had a drink.
Yeah.
However, it doesn't fit into my lifestyle. So, for instance, if I only have one bottle of beer tonight, if I have any more, I won't be able to get up in the morning and go for a run at 7 o'clock. When I get up at 7 o'clock and I go for a run, although it's counterintuitive to get up at that time in the fucking cold, I know I will feel better for it. So I have to stay off the beer. Although I enjoy beer, I have to do things which are counterintuitive to get the most out of life. Well, I don't mean to say that I'm getting more out of life than you, but it's just the path that I'm on at the minute.
It doesn't sound fun to me, to be honest.
No, I'm not saying it is, but I know that it's what I need to do.
Yeah, but you never drink a beer and then put some music on and dance around a bit?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, well.
But not very often. I can't. For me, I get more out of life. If I get up in the morning, I've got my alarm set for 11. I've only had one.
Well, I wasn't going to drink at all tonight, but then you were like, we need to do a stream. And I was like, well, I need to get drunk. To do a stream.
Okay.
So it's that, well, in fact, I'm not actually drunk yet. But I will be when I get another beer.
No, but of course I never, like I did stress, there's nothing wrong with that because you're having fun, that's what you enjoy doing. I'm just saying the path that I'm on, I have to be careful. I can't drink that much anymore because it affects my diet and it affects my exercise routine and the other things that I enjoy doing. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. Right. If there was something worth getting up for in the morning, if there was something worth getting up for in the morning, then I would. But running's not it.
No, listen, I don't particularly enjoy hearing that alarm go off and getting out of bed feeling a little bit pissed off. And, when I start running, it's pretty I'm like, for fuck's sake. But once I've done it, I feel great, and then I feel really good for the rest of the day. And I get more out of that. I feel better than what I would do if I had a few beers. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, I guess.
But what I do is, like, for instance, when I went to Thailand, that whole 2 weeks, I think I went to the gym like 4 times in 2 weeks, and the rest of the time I just got pissed and just had a laugh and just did it. So I have moments where I just go crazy, and then I spend the rest of the time getting back in shape again.
Well, I don't drink every night, just every night that I stream. That's like my shtick streaming. It's just I stream nearly every night.
No, I'm not saying you do drink every night. I know you drink a little bit more than I do.
Oh, yeah.
I used to have probably an alcohol addiction. I've never been an alcoholic, never anywhere near. But I don't think I did it. I think I was alcohol dependent. You know what the difference is?
Well, were you drinking before you went to work?
No, I would suggest that's an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Alcohol dependent is where you think you can't have a good time in certain situations without alcohol.
Well, yeah, but to be fair, when I do my streams on my other channel, I like to have alcohol to loosen me up a bit. It makes me a bit more warmer to the... Well, I suppose even with these streams, that's why I like to drink, because otherwise I'm not as entertaining. I mean, I suppose I probably am, but when I do my streams on my other channel, they're always quite late at night, so it's like, well, this is the time of night that we should all get fucked up and have some fun.
Some comedians drink, some musicians drink before they go on stage. I think there's some guitarists and singers that say they can't get on stage without a beer. Alcohol, I've come to realise, is like a necessary evil for where we're at in our stage as a race at the minute. I don't think, because even though I don't think that you get pissed every night of your life is necessarily maybe the highest thing you can do, I think that if we didn't have it, we'd be fucked, basically.
Well, no, we would have found something else. Everyone would just take heroin or something. I mean, opium was legal until 50, 60 years ago.
Maybe not necessarily. Alcohol's a bit different though, isn't it, than other kind of drugs. It's a bit... I think the thing is with drink is it slows your thought processes down. And what it used to do with me is when I was going through a bad time, I had a drink, I'd forget about those problems. And I think that's one of the main reasons why too many people get addicted to alcohol, isn't it? Just your problems don't seem as bad when you've had a drink.
Yeah, but I also think not in regards to... I think, other drugs, well, I can't say because I haven't tried all of them, but I'd say alcohol is a more harmful drug than weed.
Oh, well, I think most people would agree with that.
Yeah. Like, I think people, like, if you just have a little smoke of weed, your motor functions and stuff still work, but people drink alcohol and they go, oh, do you know what, I've had 17 pints, I can still drive my car, that's fine. That's a good idea. But yeah, it's probably those two are the two least harmful drugs you can possibly take. But alcohol.
I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast where they were talking about the legalized. I think I'm going to go slightly off topic here. The legalized heroin. Was it Switzerland?
I didn't know that. I mean, euthanasia is legal there too. Um,
It just it helped with like the crime problem. I'm pretty sure it was Switzerland. It was some European country.
wow, wow.
Uh, because they're saying that the war on drugs is pointless. Of course it is, because you'll never win it ever.
Yeah, no, it's like, well, it's been lost a long time ago. Wow, weed and alcohol and euthanasia is legal in Quebec. Oh, Quebec. I got mugged in Quebec. But anyway. Unless you want to hear about how I got mugged in Quebec. Don't think Andy's even there.
Oh, you got your what? Sorry.
I got mugged in Quebec.
Oh, go on then. Tell us the tale.
I was, I think, 15, 16 years old. And I was on a snowboarding trip with my school. And our resort was up in the mountains near Quebec. I can't remember the name of the resort. And we, yeah, we found this little off license, but our hotel was in like the city of Quebec, in not a particularly nice area. I think it was like a real cheap hotel, like Ramada or something. And we found this little off license that sold beer to us. And so me and two other boys, like the three oldest looking, we went in and bought this crate of beer from the dude behind the counter, and it was all fine. And we were like, great. And we're walking back to the hotel, and we looked in the foyer, and all our teachers were in there. And we're like, fuck, we can't just walk through with this crate of beer. So we walked down the side alley by the side of the hotel, and I loaded up my two friends with like, I think they took 4 beers each, and there was still like 16 in the pack that I had. Maybe was it like 24 or something like that. And this lad came around the corner, and he was like a bit of a punk. He had like, I think, leather trousers and a leather jacket on and a chain hanging from his belt. But he wasn't particularly tall. He was actually a bit shorter than me. So he came around the corner and he just went, "That's my beer." And I went, "It's not your beer, it's my beer." And he went, "Yeah, it is my beer." And so I put the beer down and squared up to him, and I was like, "It is my beer." And then like about quite a lot. I don't remember how many exactly. I would say about 8 more of these punks came around the corner, and I went, "It's your beer," and gave it to him. And then I had to go up to the hotel room and explain to all my school friends that all the money they'd given me for beer was now taken.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that was yeah. Got mugged in Quebec by a French Canadian punk. But you live and learn.
Beat up.
No, I didn't. No, I just handed over the beer. They didn't ask me for money, so that was the lesson is probably don't hide down a dark alley with a crate of beer. But it was the best of both worlds. The teachers were in the foyer. I didn't know what to do. I should have kept one of my mates. Well, even if there'd been two of us, I can't see it panning out any different way. So, uh, yeah, that's my story about getting mugged in Quebec. I don't know if we got much. I must admit, I'm starting to flag. I do need a beer. I'm happy to continue talking though, but I need another beer to perk me up.
How ironic. What time is it?
Oh, CK, I had maple syrup direct from a tree on the in the snowboarding. Well, not like the man scraped off the syrup jizz and put it in a little thing, and he gave it to me, and I just drunk it like straight from the maple tree. It was awesome. Um, yeah. Sorry, Andy.
No, I was just listening.
Yeah, it was good times. It was really cool, that resort. They had like barbecues and restaurants like halfway up the ski runs. It was fucking great. You could like go halfway down and stop and get a burger somewhere. Uh, been too long since I've been snowboarding.
Yeah, I'm not very good at that kind of stuff, me. Never
That's,
have been.
I haven't done it in many a year now. Uh, but I might do later this year if I go to visit my friend. I will see. Um, I did CK, yeah, it was great. Like, I had a very good time in Canada, except for being mugged. Uh, well, I think I struggle with two languages as it is. Oh, thanks, Brendan. I mean, I don't know if we've been that interesting. We're kind of fading away now. Shall I get another beer? Let Andy take over. You take some stuff. And
Yeah,
I'll get a
thanks,
beer. There you go.
thanks, Brendan. We were going to talk. We were supposed to be talking about like, well, I suppose we have touched upon it a bit, but the idea was, I kind of noticed changes in culture and things like that in England, especially. Coffee houses as well. Like they've sprung up over the last 5 years. Well, yeah, probably 5 years. Like Starbucks and Costa. I kind of like it. Because I like to sort of read, but I like to do it. I kind of like to do it around people. It's a bit weird. So I enjoy sitting at home reading, but I also enjoy going to like a coffee house and sitting there and permanent women, to be honest, because you get a lot of decent women in there. That's pretty cool. But I've noticed. Sorry,
How can you concentrate on the book if you're perving on women in the coffee house?
I can do both, can't I?
You won't get the full experience.
Oh, don't be a pedantic bastard.
Well, Harry Potter.
I can still occasionally look at the book and then look at the bird, can't I?
I mean, a magazine, just get a copy of Razzle, and then the birds will know what you're all about.
Well, I
just sit in Starbucks.
Oh,
and
now
read
it's
a book.
being pedantic or sort of. No, I mean, I have like a Kindle, which is the greatest thing I've ever bought. It fits in my pocket. It's got like 1,000 books on it. Oh, it's just probably the best 80 quid I've ever spent. Anyway, I go in Costa with a book, probably once a day, depending on work.
Right.
And there's like a kind of subculture going on in there. It's a bit weird because it's sort of sprung up so much in England. There's kind of like, how can I put it? There's a lot of people that go in there. I've noticed this cropping up quite a lot. People put their conversations on speakerphone. It seems to be happening more and more, and I can't figure out why people do it. And this seems to be happening quite a lot in these coffee places. Like I'll be sat there reading my book and checking out the talent, and fucking someone's talking about some business deal on speakerphone like he wants everybody to listen
But
to.
that's always been a cunty businessman trait for a long, long time. Like, that's in movies and stuff.
Oh, of course it has, but I didn't realise that people were so in your face with it that they had to put the supposedly private conversations on speaker.
I started making a video for it was gonna be for my main channel, like about not getting scammed in Barcelona, but then it turned into a bit of a vlog, and I felt really kind of a bit self-conscious and a bit wankerish because I was sitting like in front of a fountain in Plaza Catalunya going, "Hi guys, and this is the introduction to my video, and you're going to learn how not to get scammed in Barcelona." But I mean, it was going to be a good video, except my phone died before I could do the final part, which means I need to go back to the city to finish it. But you might have walked past and thought that was me just being a wanker.
Maybe.
So, but with business deals and stuff, yeah, I don't know why they have that on speakerphone.
It's just another aspect of the human ego to be noticed. I don't suppose it's anything different than it ever has been. I just think that maybe it's just because these coffee places have kind of popped up, and usually people would converse in there'd be like a social club in pubs where people would drink. Because Churchill used to say, "Keep them in the pubs, keep them out of the libraries," which is generally why the general population is thick as fuck. And this is like, maybe it's me judging, and I'm sure if I am, tell me, and sure you would, but when I'm like driving home from work or whatever, and I see people in the pubs at like 5:30 in the evening, and they're up, they immediately go in there after work. Is it being judgmental by me saying I don't want to be one of those people?
What, they go straight to the pub after work?
That go straight to the pub after work, and that's their life. They go to work, they go to the pub, they drink, they go to bed, they get up, they go to work, they drink, they go to bed. That's it. All their sort of lives are. I mean, I suppose that's an extreme example. Most people have got other things going on. I suppose maybe it's a bit of fear creeping.
Well, that's the thing. You're going into all these wank places.
What wank places?
The coffee shops.
I know. I'm just kind of trying to figure out in my own head why I enjoy it. I suppose because I live on my own, it's nice to be around other people every now and again.
But if I was going to get a coffee here, I would not go to Starbucks or Costa. I'd go to some little family cafe because, well, it's not like the UK, but they actually make good coffee anywhere you go. And it'll cost me a quarter of the price that Starbucks would.
No, in Spain, the reason why I like visiting so much, and I've been to yours a few times, is because the little square in Ruby where there's the little coffee places, or the pubs, and they'll do your coffees, because there's nothing I enjoy more than sat outside in the square in the nice weather with my Kindle, reading. I just love it. That's one of the greatest pleasures I can get out of life. Call me sad, maybe I am, I don't know. But you can't do that in England. You can't go. There isn't that type of environment. The only places you can go are the Costas and the Starbucks, the little cafes you're talking about. There's not that many of them, and to be fair, you get ripped off. As bizarre as it is, it's better value at Costa.
Well, go to fucking Weatherspoons. I think in the mornings you get as many coffees as you want.
No, I do that. When I was studying for my exam, you can get free refills, so I used to sit there in a little corner on my own out of the way. But Citizens Arrest is right. He says he lives in LA. I can imagine it being worse there. But there's even in Manchester where people will sit there in the Costas or whatever, and they will sit there on the laptops. And then they'll get on the phone, and it's just like they think they're on Wall Street, don't they? And it is like an ego thing for attention and that. But I suppose you've got to allow people to have the way, but it is a bit. You just think you toss her.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess you do kind of get a weird feeling of importance if you sit on your laptop, but I wouldn't sit. I suppose I've had Skype conversations in public before, but only by necessity. Like if I've been back in the UK and waiting to meet a friend or something. And then you would put it on speakerphone by default if you had your laptop out.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about people on the laptops, though. I'm talking about people on the phones.
True. Well,
laptops a bit different, but no, I've not because I go to these coffee places, and there's a girl in there that I fancy that I was telling you about as well. So that's another reason for me to go in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you later.
Okay. All right.
Not positive though. Well, no, it was positive. It's not like she told me to fuck off or anything.
She just said stop spying.
Yeah, she just said, "This is your final warning. I'm going to call cops."
Time to find a new coffee shop.
Yeah. But yeah, there are a lot more. There's a lot more of them now. And drive-through coffee. When was drive-through coffee ever needed? How did we ever survive without drive-through coffee?
To be fair, like if I was on a long journey and there was just a drive-through coffee just right at the side of the motorway, that'd be cool.
But the motorway, I can get it. But they're fucking everywhere, right? In this town where I live in Leigh, Lancashire, there's a retail park and there's a Costa Coffee above next, which is a shite clothes shop. And there's also only 30 yards away another Costa which you can sit in, and there's also a drive-through in it. And this is just a shithole town in Lancashire. These places are everywhere, and it just like they turn up in the in the 4x4s with the sunglasses on. Yeah, I'll have a super locker chocker with a shot of vanilla to go. Make it skinny. I'm like, oh, you cunt. You know what I mean?
Skinny. Well,
he's fucking right. We are becoming Americanized, and it's becoming...
we are. That's been happening for a long time, though, hasn't it? The thing with the UK is like we've lost our identity a little bit because of how Americanized we're becoming. But before it was all just pubs, like where
Yeah,
they
and
keep
and
greasy
plus, did you
spoons.
know, like, I don't know whether this is happening across the UK, and it's quite well known, as Ricky Gervais says in the extras, that pubs are closing dramatically. So I think there are less people drinking than there used to be. And I've often wondered this because I don't smoke anymore. I very rarely drink, maybe once a fortnight at the most. Apart from when I go on holiday, when I just get smashed every night. The only thing that I maybe you could call addiction to now is caffeine. So rather than go to the pub like I used to and chat shit with boring people, which is what I used to do, which is why maybe I've got a bit of a thing about it. I sit in a coffee house reading a book. Surely there can't be anything wrong with that.
No, except that you're giving money to a corporation. Probably.
Well, I have thought about that, but don't we all do that? Don't we all give money to the
I mean, there's things you'll always give into. Like McDonald's is a bigger beast than anyone could ever fight. They probably have done some of the worst things ever, but the thing with McDonald's is you always know what you're gonna get, and if you've only got a couple of euros or quid in your pocket, you can always get something. Um, so yeah, like I mean, I read oh no, it was Coca-Cola the book was about. I'm talking to Andy Wayne, by the way, if you guys, if you didn't realise. I speak to him quite a lot. He hasn't been on for a while though. But I read a book. It was about the Coca-Cola company and all the terrible stuff they've done, like ruining South American towns and things. But you can't stop drinking Coke, can you?
Citizens Arrested said you are turning more into the always on the go sort of lifestyle where it's not about relaxing for a few hours at a pub, it's about the idea you always have somewhere more important to go. Well, I think that's not true because I do know how to relax for a few hours. I just don't like sitting in a pub for a few hours with the right people. Like I'm meeting some friends tomorrow, sorry, the day after, and we're going playing snooker, and that'll be all night. That'll be the only time I'll drink, and it'll be a great time. But I used to go in pubs, and I'm not saying those people are bad, but they literally are boring people who talk about boring stuff, and I used to get sucked into it. And there's a certain mentality that goes on in these pubs and bars and these cliques, little cliques of people, and it's all very petty, and it's all, I don't want anything to do with that kind of shit anymore.
You have to small town gossip and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I used to get sucked into it, and I didn't realise it at the time. And it's not, it's not really. I don't know what you mean by always on the go. It's not about relaxing. I've always got somewhere important to go. I don't really agree with that. I spend like an hour a day meditating. That's the ultimate relaxation if you can do it. Oh, you're not talking about you. Sorry, mate. But is that
what is meditating? It's just having a long kind of light sleep.
So no, can I just ask citizens arrest who you're referring to? Is there somebody that you're talking about, or
I thought it was just a general comment about how lifestyles are changing.
Oh right, okay.
Because people are more obsessed with going to coffee shops than they would be going to pubs these days. Probably the coffee shop is a lot busier than the pub these days. And there's many factors behind that. I mean, the thing, you go to a pub now, you go to a pub in London, £6 a fucking pint if you go into Central.
It's terrible.
I mean, honestly, like, who can afford to get drunk in a pub in London? Fucking millionaires, that's it these days. Like, £6 a fucking pint. No wonder people don't go to pubs anymore. Like, for £6 here, £6's about €8. I could buy a bottle of spirits and a bottle of Pepsi and get proper fucked up without going to a pub. And spending £6 just because you're outside and someone's saying, in fact, I fucking hate going to the pub. Like, if you go in Central and like sort of the floors are sticky and it fucking stinks, like all you can smell is like where people have vomited from the previous night, and it's like, The most expensive place to have a beer in the world, yet the closest to hell you'll ever get on earth. It's disgusting.
Do you think that what I met these two American girls in Thailand. One of them was a penis, and the other one I thought was alright. That was my interpretation for what it's worth. But one of them stole some money off me. Anyway, never mind. The point is, there was this girl that I liked, and she said she was visiting the place where we stayed for 2 weeks for 3 days, and all she did during that time was get pissed all day and then fall asleep at night. Which I'm not judging, I'm just saying that's what she did. And I said, what was the idea when you were here? What did you want to do? Oh, we want to go everywhere and we want to see every place. So they were spending 2 or 3 months visiting as many places as possible, but not really experiencing the places where they were going. And her idea was, I want to go everywhere. Now, is that not... Because that wasn't exclusive to her, there was a few people like that. People not so intent, and there's so much pressure on people to do so many great things and do this and do that people are so intent on going everywhere that they don't actually enjoy what they're doing right at that moment. So, for instance, we stayed in one place for 2 weeks and had a really good time and experienced the whole island and got so many great memories, and she was just pissed for 3 days and then moved on to the next place. So is it that everybody thinks they've got to have this amazing life so that they're not really enjoying the moment?
What, because she missed out on visiting those places? Or because she was getting pissed all the time?
Well, no, what I'm trying to say, I don't know whether I articulated it too well, is that my interpretation of what she was doing is, she said to me, I want to go everywhere. So she went everywhere for 3 days without having the time to enjoy that place, just so that she could say...
like just going like place to place to place?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. The thing is, sometimes though, if you've never been somewhere and you've been like really excited to go there, like I went to the Colosseum in Rome and I was like, oh, fucking can't wait to see this. It's going to be amazing. But like after an hour, I was like, well, I've seen it now. I mean, it was pretty good. The tour guide was a bit shit, but then I was like, well, I'm done. It's just, I mean, it's cool. It's cool. I can say I've seen the Colosseum, but after an hour, I wanted to do something else.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I think, no, I don't think you... I might not have explained it very well, but if you go into... that's just one sightseeing place. If I went somewhere like that, I'd be like, right, I've seen it now. I want to go, how long are you going to stare at a fucking building for? But what I'm saying is, people have this idea in their heads of me, the traveller. I need to see everywhere. And they don't really enjoy and get a feel for that place while they're there because they're so intent on travelling that they're already thinking about the next place.
Well, yeah. Sometimes that can be fun if you're just trying to check everything off, though. We kind of did that on a friend's stag weekend where we like...
Yeah, that's different, though. That's a stag weekend. They're meant to be kind of like that, but... in Asia, in Thailand and places like that, there's a lot of travellers, people that travel around the world, and some people stay in those places and they can tell you some interesting stories, and then there's a lot of people that just do it for the sake of doing it because they think they want to have a few interesting stories to tell, or it's like a badge of honour rather than really enjoying it for what it is. That was the impression that I got from quite a lot of people. Young travellers as well, they're the same. It's like, I want to go travelling, and it's like, well, we stayed there for 2 days, and it's like, well, what did you do? Nothing. What have you got to say about it? Nothing. Right,
but then have you never had one of those nights where you've got a massive thing planned, and then you're like, how about we all just stay here and get fucked up?
Oh yeah, of course you do, but that's part of life, isn't it?
Yeah. Sometimes those nights turn out to be the best, though.
The spur of the moment nights usually are the best ones, aren't they?
Yeah. But even like the plans change, but as long as people are together and socialising and stuff, then it's all good.
I've got my own views about alcohol and the usage of it, but it's a bit of a paradox because some of the best moments I've had in my life are alcohol-fueled moments with my friends where we just got fucked out of our brains and just went crazy, not hurting anybody, but just doing stupid things, and it's like I look back and think, that was pretty cool. But I also think I live a better life now than I did back then. So I don't miss it. Does that make any
Well,
sense?
I think as you get older, you start doing those things less.
But
Like,
would you
it's
say
just
you
that
drink more now or less than you did when you were younger?
overall, I probably drink more now. But when I was younger, I probably binge drunk a lot more often.
Yeah, I was. It made me realise that when I was. I mean, most people when they're young drink, but I fucking drunk a lot. I mean, a lot. Fucking hell.
Oh, I mean, I've had nights that like I woke up once in someone's shed, but that was just a one-off. It didn't happen very often. But I don't know. I think I hold my alcohol. The thing is, it might seem like I drink a lot now, but I hold my alcohol very well. I haven't been sick from alcohol in God knows how long.
Isn't that horrible? I think that's a fear I have of doing that again. Like,
Yeah, it's
trying
not
to think of
nice.
the last time I did it. When I, oh, I'll tell you what it was. Me and my friends wanted to go. We hadn't been out in a while, and we thought we'd go to a casino. This was about a year ago, and oh god, I got absolutely wankered. And that whole day, I've never felt as bad. I was just really depressed. Couldn't eat anything, couldn't drink anything, couldn't hold anything down. Throwing up. You know when you're being sick and there's nothing to throw up, and it's just
Oh,
something that's it.
retching, yeah.
Oh, I don't want to ever go through that again. It's
No,
just
it's
not
not.
worth it. I think it's because I didn't have a good night though. If you go through that and your night was shit, then it's going to be even worse, isn't it?
Yeah, I think to be honest, if you do throw up during a night of drinking that goes well, you probably don't remember that part of it as one of the main events. Um, but things I like drinking, but if someone said to me tomorrow, you can't drink anymore, I wouldn't go mental.
Well, we're kind of talking. What CK's made a point there is something that maybe we should do a stream on another time. He said, how can you do the whole take a year off if applying proper, not to have to focus determination to gather money to do it? Well, I mean,
You'd save money though, wouldn't you, if you take a whole year off drinking?
yeah. I was kind of been pondering on sort of what society would view as success versus happiness. So some success is a very subjective term. Like people would say, success is owning a multi-million pound business and having loads of people that work for you and doing this and doing that. But I would view success as just being content and happy and having some nice memories to look back at and being a decent person. Whereas
Yeah.
there's a lot of pressure on people now to be, especially women. I feel sorry for. I'm not saying men have it easy, but I think maybe women have it hard, especially young women. Even though there's the
It's a lot
pressure.
harder to find your place in the world, I think, for women. They are overly sexualized at times, which is, yeah.
I think that they have advantages in that they talk about their feelings more, so I think maybe they don't get as depressed as men. But
No, that's true.
pressure,
Men have got their cons and women have got their cons, and both men and women have got their pros, of course. I think it's hard for everyone in this day and age finding where you fit in the world.
yeah.
And some of the role models these days are fucking awful.
Well, yeah, they're not role models, are they? It's. I
Well,
mean, look at your mate Gervais, right? He's got his faults, but I like the shows he does because he's trying to say something about society and about
yeah.
people. He's trying to do something a little bit
He does
worthwhile.
come across a bit pious at times. I will say that about him. But yeah, it comes from a good-hearted place of trying to say, look, we all need to be more caring about each other and less caring about Twitter and Instagram.
And me, success is being happy with what you have. I've learned that, and you're exactly
Do you
right.
know, if well, I wouldn't be happy, I'd say, but like if I was to something was to happen to me tomorrow, I could at least look back and go, well, I've enjoyed my life. It's been pretty good. It's been pretty lucky.
Yeah, the thing is,
And that's probably more important than being Rich. I would like to now. Now I'm older. I would like to be rich
It's not
and
probably
not
more
have to
important
worry.
than being rich. It is more
No,
important. I don't think anybody would disagree with
but
that.
I
You'd
would
have
like
to
to
be.
live a life without having any money issues. I don't necessarily have to be rich, but just not have to worry about money. That would make life a lot nicer.
Yeah, I'm very privileged, even though I'm not. Well, I am, but I'm not. Like compared to some people, I'm not. But compared to most people on the planet, I am. But like, I don't earn massive money, but I'm happy. I don't aspire to own a big company. I don't know.
No,
I
I don't
think
want that, but you never dream of like having a nice house with like
of course I do.
beachfront
I want a
doors,
house on the
mortgage
beach.
totally paid off.
Well, do you?
Well, yeah, of course. This is literally my fantasy.
Well, yeah. I mean, who doesn't like, you know? But
Butler to roll your joints.
monkey butler.
A monkey butler. Oh, that'd be amazing. A monkey butler that skins up for me.
I've got an image of that in my head now. That'd be... the monkey butler's got a tuxedo on, and you're just sat there in your underpants.
No, I come down the stairs because it's like an open plan. It's not a big house, but it's like open plan. I come down the stairs, just boxer shorts, no, swimming shorts, and the monkey hands me my joint, and then I open up the doors to the beach, and I
The
walk
monkey's
out.
gonna blow you off.
No, I'm not going to have sex with the monkey. I'm not Michael Jackson. Sorry. And then I'll just walk out to the sea, paddle a little bit, finish it off.
Well, maybe these fantasies will come to reality if we get a sitcom started.
Well, yeah, could be.
But we can't tell anybody that because they'll steal our idea. It's about a time traveling driving. No, it's about a killer robot driving instructor who travels back in time for some reason.
To kill his dad.
It's off the Simpsons.
Oh, okay.
Killer robot driving instructor who travels back in time for some reason.
Oh, Carl's sad because he hasn't got any boobs. We're all sad because of that. Maybe we should all start eating loads of estrogen.
You've got boobs.
I haven't got boobs. But what do you mean I've got boobs? These are nice.
Okay.
I wish they were boobs. So I'm literally rubbing my nipples.
What? You just admitted to that?
Well, yeah, no, I was just having a look to see. This is 12 stone of raw meat.
Hey. Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, I think I need to go to bed. Well, no, I'm not going to go to bed yet because I've got things to do. Well,
yes.
guys, sorry we've just been banging. This is basically, we could have had this conversation offline, but thanks for joining us. It's been emotional. And thanks for joining me, Andy.
Thank you very much.
Thanks everyone in the chat. We'll see you soon. Oh, sorry, I know we said Ivana and I said we were going to do the next reading of the chat log the following night, and we didn't. We will continue it soon, but time differences and work and things have made it kind of difficult recently, so that will happen again. Kind of mixed. Well, I only got one dislike actually. Kind of mixed reviews of the new voice I was using for Lorne. At times, I did miss using the Sir Edward voice because it just fits the creepy persona. The way he talks much easier. But it was an interesting voice, mostly positive responses. Anyway, so yeah, that will be continuing soon, guys. If you don't know who Andy is, and you want to learn about pedos from the man himself, go and subscribe to his channel. So yeah, take care, everyone. Do you want to say any final goodbyes, Andy?
Yes, goodbye to everybody for listening.
He's not even there. He's a small man in a box. Right, good night, everyone. Bye.